And YouTube, what is going on? Julian back with another video. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that has been on my mind for a while, and it's becoming a hybrid athlete. And what do I mean by hybrid athlete? Well, not only are you spending your time in the gym lifting weights, but now you have added another sport. You've added something else onto your plate that causes you to have to find a way to get the two to work together to maintain your physique and to maintain your athleticism. And so, as you guys know, for years, if you've been watching my videos, I have been lifting weights for the longest time. I've lifted weights longer than the times I've created videos. So I've probably been lifting for about 10 years now. I'm 29, so I started when I was 19. Of course, half that journey was a lot of fluff because I wasn't really willing to take that extra commitment for the diet and things like that. I mean, we're all learning, right? You learn as you go, and I don't have anybody close to me that was this deep into lifting or, sports in general. But now I've been boxing for almost an entire year. So next month would actually meet a year. So I believe, sometime mid-June would be a year where I stayed consistent to boxing and maintaining lifting at the same time. So I do just want to give you guys some pointers that really helped me out as I kind of figured things out throughout this journey that helped me maintain my physique, but not necessarily maintain it. I actually made it better throughout this process, but helped me maintain the lifting of the gym and still being able to enjoy that while enjoying my new combat sport, right? And I think that this can fall in line with anything that you choose to do. So if you choose to do running, if you choose to do, tennis, just an example, any other sport that you do aside from weightlifting that has cardiovascular activity to it is gonna basically, most people will be looking against that because then they're gonna say that you're going to lose your size, but there are many different ways that you can prevent that. And I'm going to explain that in this video for you here. And let's get that started. So there's 4 specific topics that I want to talk about. And the first one is going to be your routine, because you're going to have to figure out a routine. Then the next one would be the food that you're going to intake, because you're going to have to adjust your diet. If you're just lifting at this current moment, you can't, and then you add an additional sport, especially if there's a lot of cardio involved, you can't have the same diet to maintain the same physique. Things are going to have to change. I also want to show you guys my supplements to show you that I'm not taking anything crazy, just things that have been helping me, and I can explain, the backstory on why they're beneficial to some of the things that I do, and maybe it could be something that you guys might look into taking. And then the last one, which is actually the most important one to me, would be my mental, and I would say mainly my confidence, how adding this additional sport, which is boxing, really boosted and shot my confidence through the roof. It could be because it's a combat sport, so it could be different for something else. But I think truly if you apply what you have in weightlifting into, the new sport, that same discipline, it's gonna help you build your confidence regardless, because you're going to see, new levels hit, new accomplishments. You're going to be getting better at something different. So it's just gonna make a huge difference. And I wanna kind of explain a little bit more of that towards the end of the video. But first, like I said, I want to start with your routine. And the reason why I bring up the routine is because you're going to have to figure out how you're going to mix the two. When I first initially started boxing, I was going 3 times a week. And what I was doing is I was going Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursday nights. My weightlifting schedule was also Monday, chest, Tuesday, back. Wednesday, I think I was taking off during this time. I was giving myself a full day of rest. Thursday was, I believe, shoulders, and then Friday was legs. And then Saturdays, I would do arms. And that sounds insane. And to be honest, it was insane. It was crazy. But I was fired up. I was in a new sport, and I was able to maintain the two like that for quite a while. But as you know, I also have my business, my real estate business, and things began to pick up sometimes. And so it really started to conflict with the two. And I had to, I was spending a lot of time in the gym, and I'm not getting paid for it. I wish I was getting paid for it, because then I would continue to have that type of schedule, right? But we have to be realistic with the things that are going on in our life. And I had to make an adjustment to that. So first off, I cut off shoulders because you use your shoulders a lot in boxing. And because I utilize my shoulders a lot, I still had the same mass. I've maintained the same mass for the most part. I don't know if I've maintained the same strength. I occasionally hit it when I go on vacation because I'm not boxing, and I'm still doing somewhat around the same weight that I was pressing before. But you want to find something that's going to make it a little bit easier for you and more where you have the time to recover. So now the way that I do it is Monday, I typically take off completely. Tuesday, I do boxing in the evening. And then Wednesday, I hit legs because I want to, I'm so sorry, no, not legs. I hit back, but I'm switching things up again. So I'm just kind of telling you what worked for me for a while, but I'm gonna re-switch things because I think my weekends, I'm unable to work out in the morning. They're more like active rest days because my part-time job, like I told you guys, park ranger. So I do a lot of walking. But before I decided to make this recent adjustment, I was doing Tuesday evenings boxing, Wednesday back, Thursday evening boxing, Friday legs, and then Sunday mornings I would do chest. And so because I was walking so much throughout the weekend, just kind of like an active rest day. I mean, you're still burning tons of calories. I'm fortunate that it's steady. So it's, I believe it's called steady state cardio. So not necessarily burning mass. But I had to find something that worked to where I would have at least one full day of rest. And I didn't want to overtax like my upper body multiple times like it did when I first started. Because when I first started, like I said, I hit chest in the beginning and then I would box later that evening. And it would be a lot harder. My punches weren't the same. My athleticism wasn't the same. But of course, it's because I was fatigued from earlier that morning in my lift. So if you're going to pick up a different sport, you also want to be conscious of that as well. If you're going to run and you hit like a really hard leg session, you can't expect to perform to like your top peak. If you just did like massive weight in the gym that following morning and then you expect to run later on in the evening and have that same athleticism that you had the day before where you didn't have that morning, leg workout. So you have to be conscious of the muscle groups that you're utilizing throughout the day and how you need to place them specifically for a rest day. You don't want to, like I said, hit chest and then go box later in the evening because you're utilizing your front delts when you're lifting and you're doing bench and you're utilizing your chest, but you're also utilizing the same muscle groups when you're throwing punches and hooks and things like that. So you can't expect to perform the same way that you would perform on a day that you don't have that or a day after rest, which honestly, a day after rest is usually when I perform the best. And then, so you wanna make sure to separate that. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about, like I said, is your food. So when I initially started this, I was only eating, I believe, 3 meals a day. I had my protein supplement. So I had, for me, I believe it's about 4 to 4.5 ounces of chicken breast. I typically do that. So I was getting about 30 grams of protein. I pay attention more to my protein, truthfully. Everybody operates differently, right? But I pay more attention to my protein intake because of the amount of calories that I burn and the amount of things that I do. I don't want to lose my mass and I want to maintain as much as possible, which is the same thing you're going to have to do if you have mass on you and you're adding more cardio, activities. So I had 3 meals, which was my 2 chicken meals, so about 30 grams each, so about 60 grams of protein there, and then like half a cup of rice. And then in the evening, I would eat, another 30 grams of protein of my choosing, whatever I want with some extra carbs. And then I had 1 protein supplement with 20 grams of protein. And that was, I used that same diet initially when I got into boxing. And then I quickly realized I was draining all my energy. I wasn't recovering right. I was, more fatigued. And it was just, I'm burning more calories than I was initially when I first started. So something has to change, right? You're adding additional workouts to your regimen. You need to make sure that you are eating correctly for that as well. So your diet is extremely important if you want to continue to grow in both. Of course, you're never going to be, you're always going to be better if you focus on one at a time, right? But if you want to do both, which I recommend, I love it, then you have to pay attention to your diet like big time. And so that was one of the first things that I did is I began to add more high protein meals. And so I added breakfast, which I never ate breakfast in my life. So I added breakfast. I still have my 2 chicken meals. And then I have my dinner. And like I said, I fluctuate that. Sometimes it goes from 30 to 45 grams of protein, depending on what I want to eat. In my day in the life video of an entrepreneur, you'll see that I occasionally cook, like a lean burger with air fried French fries. I'm always changing things up. So that plus I added, instead of taking your typical supplement for protein, like your powder, which I'll show you in my next topic, I added an additional protein supplement that adds 25 grams of protein per serving. And so I take that twice, before and after I work out, and that's an additional 50 grams of protein. So I typically finish the day with about 165 to 170 grams of protein, when initially, when I first started this, I was maybe about 145. And so I was doing that in the beginning, and I quickly realized I had to change things up. And funny enough, in the middle of this transition, I began to gain strength. I've actually lost strength now. I'm still trying to figure out why, but it could possibly be because I'm much leaner than I was initially, and I most likely maybe did lose a little bit of size. But I look a lot better than when I initially started this journey, and that's really what we're looking for anyways. And so it's always a bonus to, continue to look better, right? So there's that when it comes to, your routine and your food. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about is your supplements. Okay, so supplements, I don't take too much, but I do take it for specific reasons. And so the protein supplement that I was talking about is this, it's called Huma Pro. Let me see if the camera's gonna focus on it. It's focusing on me. But the Huma Pro, and these are actually pills. So it's just a lot easier for me, and it's a lot easier for my stomach, truthfully, to take it in pill version. It's 5 grams per pill. I buy this at a local supplement store called Cost Plus here in San Antonio. And amazing discovery, because truthfully, I feel like I made a lot of gains with it, and I also feel like it's helped me maintain my mass in like the absolute best way that it possibly could. And the next supplement that I take is fish oils. So I take fish oils mainly for general health. I'm always slamming caffeine. Truthfully, I'm a caffeine addict. You see it in my videos too. Same thing with the vlogs. I'm always gonna have some sort of caffeine, whether it's pre-workout or an energy drink. And so fish oils are just generally good for your heart health. They're good for, lubrication of your joints. Just plenty of things. Do some research on fish oil. Like, there's just an abundance of basically benefits. And then, so another one that I like, and this is gonna be really good for anything sports oriented, honestly, is turmeric curcumin. Hold on, gotta get my face out of it again. And the reason that I take turmeric is because turmeric is really good for it's an anti-inflammatory. So basically what it's done in the past and what it still continues to do this day is I injured my knee back in the day when I was deadlifting. And usually during the winter time, I feel some sort of pain, just some sort of uncomfortableness coming from my knee. And ever since I started taking turmeric, it's, the pain has gone away. It's just really good if you're athletic in general and you're running, doing sports. You want to make sure you have something like that on your side to basically keep your joints in good health, and just other tons of benefits. Once again, do some additional research on it, but those are the specific reasons that I use those, right? And I'm not done. So I also have my super digestive enzymes. And my super digestive enzymes, I take those because I want to get the most out of every meal. So I'm not eating, as you know, I eat maybe like 4 meals max. Some people eat more than that, like especially like big time bodybuilders. And we're all different, right? Boxing, you're just burning so many calories. So I want to make sure that I get the most out of my meals, and super digestive enzymes help your body break down protein, fats, and carbs. And those are all the things that we need. And if you pay attention to your macros as well, then that's something that's going to help you utilize the most of your food. So I take that. This is my last supplement that I take, just a pre-workout. Most people are familiar with that. It's got a little bit of DMHA in there with its caffeine. I just like my stimulants, and I take it 3 times a week because now I only lift 3 times a week. But I always have an amazing workout on that product. I like it. I believe it's called Devastate. Yeah, Devastate. So that might be something you guys would like to check out. So those are my supplements that I'm currently taking as a hybrid athlete. At some point things can change. I'm gonna be 30 this month. So I know as I continue to age, eventually, my testosterone may decline, maybe not, I don't know. We're all different. Some of us are just genetically gifted and genetically blessed. So we'll see what happens. I feel good right now, so I don't feel like I need to add anything additional. If I add anything additional, it's probably just because, I want to get crazy with it and take it to the next level. And so the final thing I want to talk about is basically like your mental, what it does to your mental to, become a hybrid athlete. So similar to what I mentioned at the beginning is when you begin to go on a new journey of a new sport and you begin to pick something up, we all start, at ground zero. You're not going to be the best basketball player right off the bat. You're not going to be the best tennis player right off the bat. You're definitely not going to be the best boxer right off the bat, the best MMA fighter, and so on. And so I think a lot of us had these feelings as children. And this is the best way to explain it. I used to skateboard a lot as, a kid. And when I would learn a new trick, like on the skateboard, I would be like, oh my God, like, dude, that was awesome. Like the amount of energy and the rush it gives you to land a new trick, like you just feel phenomenal. You feel amazing. You're like, what the heck? Did you just see what I did? And it gives me the same exact feeling when I learned something in boxing. And what is really cool is when you switch from just lifting weights, you're already disciplined as it is, because you've most likely been on this journey if you're considering being a hybrid athlete. And if you're brand new, then just use discipline. But the discipline that you apply from all the things that you've done lifting, when you put that into your new sport or whatever you may pick up, it's the same. You're going to begin to see the same, not same results, but you're going to see the results that you saw because you were being consistent lifting. You're going to see the same thing happen with the new sport, basically. And so it gives you the same feeling as landing that new trick. So I had to start something different. I had to begin to jump rope. And I never really jump roped in my life. It just, it never appealed to me. I was like, why do I need a jump rope, right? I thought it was something that we do as children. Well, I quickly realized in my new sport that I'm in, it is really good for footwork. And so I began to pick up jump roping, and it was not easy. I could not even last a minute straight. Sometimes I probably still can't last a minute straight. But I began to pick it up, first with 2 feet. And then I was able to move from one foot to another foot. And then now, it's the most recent one that I learned is the crossover. So I'll be hopping and then I'll cross it and I'll still be hopping. And every single time that I was able to do something, catch a rhythm, switch feet, it just would give me a rush. It was like, man, I'm getting better. And like, it begins to boost your confidence, because now you're not only, lifting and doing this, and this is always going to be a forever journey. Lifting weights is going to be a forever journey. You can't lift weights and then quit, right? And same thing with the sports, but muscle memory is there, just like it is in lifting. I'm pretty sure that my muscle memory of my jabs and my combos and things like that will stick with me throughout the most of my life. But it's like learning a new trick on the skateboard. And you begin to see more results. You begin to feel better. If you record yourself, I love recording myself, not only because I can share it with you guys and create content, but because I can also reflect back on it and look on how it was when I first started. So when I see myself sparring for the first time, I can see how my feet are moving, how I'm reacting to punches. I can see how I'm countering them, if I was even countering them back then, right? Versus now, I can see like a massive difference. I'm much lighter on my feet. I'm moving quicker around the ring. I'm a little bit more on the defense side. There's a couple times where I recorded myself honestly getting beat up. And then I recorded myself sparring the same person, trying to do the same thing again to me. But I was able to handle myself much better because, trial by fire, because I put myself in that position, right? But I'm staying consistent and disciplined. And so because of that, you're going to see the results. You're going to see the results if you apply the same thing that you do with lifting in your new sport. And so I totally vouch for becoming a hybrid athlete now. I think it is one of the best decisions I have ever made. I don't know how long I'll be able to maintain it, but I mean, I look at people like, David Goggins and many other like tremendous people out here in this world, and they're doing it at a much older age. And truthfully, if they can do it, I can do it. And I'm glad to have found it at the age that I found it. Sometimes I wish I started younger. If you are younger, jump into it. Don't be scared and don't be hesitant. I used to be scared of going into the boxing gym because I was like thinking to myself, like, all these people are going to be pros and good. And it's the same thing as the gym. After a while, you quickly realize nobody really cares about where you're starting. Nobody's really making fun of you. We're all thinking about ourselves for the most part because we're in there to build ourselves. We're not in there to stare at other people and judge other people. And if they are, well, you don't want to worry about that person anyways. They're in a negative mindset, right? You want to be in abundance. But do it, guys. Best decision I ever made. Jump into 2 different sports and see what it does for your life, how it changes things. And you guys keep pushing for more. Catch you in the next video.
Okay, Keno, I see.
Dreaming, talking in your sleep. I know you want to cry all night.